Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here from the 2025 Mama Spring Rally. In front of me, I have one of the most exciting or anticipated vehicles, at least in my opinion, here at the ride, and that is the 2026 Hyundai Ioniq 9 fully electric 3-row SUV. Now, of course, I've covered this vehicle in detail back home in the studio with all of the trims, pricing, all of that information is already published and live on the channel. So if you want to know what features are found on any given trim level, make sure to check those videos out here on the channel. But today in front of me, I have the fully loaded Calligraphy in the new Ionosphere Green, black leather interior, the H-Tex interior, and we're going to take this vehicle for a very quick first drive. Make sure to stay tuned here on the channel, as I will have additional content coming as this vehicle rolls out to dealerships, and of course Hyundai. Hopefully I will get this vehicle on loan here over the coming weeks, if not maybe a couple months or so, as this vehicle is going to be very popular and probably a little bit difficult to get your hands on. Now, I apologize for any background noise. There is obviously an open track day going on. Very cool cars out here, but we're going to do a very quick walk around overview. Full LED pixel lighting. There is going to be feature on demand capability, so additional or different animations can be had. Of course, projector headlights down below, front, rear, side parking sensors, all the adaptive cruise and ADAS systems up top. We have dynamic grille, 360 cameras. Here is the Calligraphy wheel, which is something I have not seen in person yet. Honestly, not the most attractive design out there. Riding on hand-cooked Ion Evo AS SUV all-season tires. We can see full body color cladding with some gloss black trim down here, body color mirror caps, panoramic sunroof up top. Of course, we do have the roof rails. No auto-dimming exterior mirrors, which is a little bit unfortunate, but blind spot detection, power folding, power retractable door handles. You can see there is the digital key functionality, digital key 2.0 premium on the front doors. Coming out back, we have that boat tail design. You can see the color in a little bit more detail back here. The running lights are on currently. Sorry for the little mud. Reverse light is down here in this section. Of course, backup camera, some of the other digital camera mirror cameras up here. I like the integrated Hyundai logo with the Ioniq 9, H-Track all-wheel drive. Wiper is going to be hidden up underneath the third brake light there. And we do have the charge port location here on the passenger side, just like the Ioniq 5. Opens outward, power, J3400 port, of course. Vehicle does have a 110.3 kilowatt hour battery, so significantly larger than the Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6, and even noticeably larger than that of the Kia EV9, which has been around for the last couple model years. So we're going to jump inside, take this vehicle for a very quick spin. I guess before we do that, I do want to show you some of the other interior bits while I have this vehicle in my possession. You can see we do have 2-position memory, massage, power folding mirrors, Bose premium audio system. The list really goes on. All of this is nice premium soft touch ambient lighting, relaxation seat with the adjustable or extendable leg cushion, 4-way lumbar, adjustable bolsters. Interesting pattern here, headrest design, panoramic openable sunroof. If we sit inside very quickly, of course we have the pixel LED lighting, forward attention monitor, driver assistance, audio multimedia. We'll go ahead and shut the door. I don't know if that does any justice to how quiet this interior is, but stop start button located here on the column, which honestly, I'm going to see if I can get used to that. Not ergonomically, I don't think my favorite, but not the worst either. Automatic headlights, automatic rain sense wipers, controls down there for the front trunk, rear trunk, heads-up display, CCNC hardware and software, 100-watt USB-C ports. You can see it says 100-watt max. Very similar touch-type controls or HVAC panel to that of some other products. We have the NFC wireless charging pad. We have the dual bi-directional center console, borrowed from the Santa Fe, fingerprint recognition, new terrain drive mode selection, which is rolling out to a bunch of other Hyundai products. There's that digital camera mirror. And yeah, hopefully this gives you a better understanding or an idea of what this vehicle has. Adaptive noise cancellation, which says acoustic control up here on the headliner. So it does have active noise cancellation, which is pretty darn cool. And looking out back, doors are pretty heavy. Sunshade. And all this is soft touch, very, very nice. And we have the power second row captain's chairs, leg extension. See some Somebody was lounging back here. I don't think these are technically the wing out headrest, but it does have power ingress egress. Not the fastest thing in the world. Honestly, pretty slow. I think the mechanical forward motion's kind of better than that. But hopping in the back seat, pushing that button once again, it will retract back. See if it crushes my legs. It doesn't. Actually, I fit pretty decently back here. Holy smokes. Plenty of headroom. Of course, we have our power adjustments for the seat, another USB-C port, large cup holder, a lot of side glass. I like that. I really do like that. Yeah, so this is just really my raw first impressions. We have about 20 to 30 minutes with this particular vehicle, so this is about all the walk around time I can get. Of course, you have heated, ventilated second row captain chairs. We have the slide out storage bin like the Santa Fe. More USB-C power adjustments. Here you can see a little bit of the ambient lighting. Oh, whoops. Got stuck there. Bumped the button trying to get it out and kind of pinched me. Honestly, a little bit slow, but what can you do about that? And then we'll go ahead and open the cargo area. Button right there. And there is the space behind the third row. So we have lighting. There's a trunk release for the power tailgate. Power second, third row seats. Vehicle to load. 125 volt outlet. And then beneath the floor we have a little bit of cargo area. Actually, that's not too bad, all things considered, with some of the electronics under there. So yeah, that's going to be a look here at the Ioniq 9. Let's go ahead and jump inside and take it for a first drive. All right, so setting out here in the 2026 Hyundai Ioniq 9 Calligraphy. This is going to be basically a raw first drive and first impression of this vehicle because basically don't have a lot of time with it, and you know I've covered it in detail here on the channel in the studio, but never in person other than the 2025 Chicago Auto Show. So yeah, honestly, this vehicle is going to be very important and I think instrumental for the Hyundai brand. Diving into the three-row mid-size SUV electric space and debuting a few new technologies, including active noise cancellation, which will be found on the upcoming Palisade as well. So immediately, in terms of visibility over the hood, while the seat is now in its lowest position, heads-up display out there. You do see the hood just a little bit, but it's really not that bad. Digital camera mirror makes that easy, and we do have some very, I would say, relatively oddly shaped side mirrors. The way they taper down kind of to a point. We'll be careful here. We have the Escalade IQ, and take this on the normal loop. Of course, we do have terrain and drive modes, so we're going to go ahead and put it in sport mode. This is the performance variant with over 400 horsepower, 66% state of charge. Oh yeah, that's proper. Oh my goodness. I don't know why the dome lights came on there, but anyways, that's quick. So 0 to 60 time, mid 4-second range. For a large, fairly heavy, robust SUV like that, that is quick. Dual motor, all-wheel drive, and 311 miles of estimated range. Whoa, got a little squiggly over our train tracks there. Oh, this thing's quick. Of course, we have different levels of regen braking, which will help slow the vehicle down. Also blended into the pedal before the friction brakes. We'll go ahead and give it a little bit of space so we can do a proper test here. This is a little bit of a downhill, but just want to get an idea of what this vehicle is capable of. So here we go. Okay, that is pretty good considering state of charge and the specs. Oh yeah, you will not have an issue with passing power whatsoever with the Ioniq 9 and the performance all-wheel drive variants. Will be interesting to get behind the wheel of the regular all-wheel drive as well as the base rear-wheel drive S trim, which is significantly down on power compared to this vehicle, but the base all-wheel drive I think will be more than sufficient for the average buyer or shopper out there. Looking around the cabin, It is an interesting mix of designs. We have a lot of rounded edges you can see here on the door handle, some of the dashboard elements. We'll put it back into normal drive mode. A lot of it is nice, premium, fairly soft touch here on the doors. I like this back portion with the ambient lighting and the perforations in it. Of course, the ambient lighting continues up there on the dashboard. All of this nice silver trim reflects light in a certain way. It's kind of a satin finish. These controls, I will say, are a bit of a reach for me currently. It's something that you can't really just reach as easily, but it's really only a couple inches out of my arm's reach there. So kind of normal function. It is low in terms of eyesight. So as I'm driving through these twisty roads, to adjust the climate controls or get down to the HVAC stuff, you do have to take your eyes fairly far off the road. So there's a decent difference in visibility there. Even compared to the Ioniq 5, I would say this is slightly worse than that vehicle. And of course, they're the touch type buttons, which are a love it or hate it type of deal. Probably would have preferred more buttons like the refreshed Ioniq 5 in the center console area, but of course they have to save it for the nice soft padded armrest. We do have the wireless charger here though, which is my preferred location. Nice terrain, and the dry mode selection is down here also. Good amount of storage, it seems like, throughout the center console here. Of course, this does have the sliding center console, so you can have, that is a ton of space here if you slide that all the way back. In terms of visibility out the back with the mirror, and then we have the headrest. See, the window does taper around decent a bit, but I don't think it impacts visibility that much, especially when the headrests are put down. So really not too bad, but of course I would prefer to probably use the digital mirror. A lot of pedestrians walking today. It is a change of pace from the last about 36 hours where it just poured rain all day. But I don't know if you guys can tell already how quiet the interior is. This thing is very quiet. You could hear that truck go by. But I think in terms of the active noise control, it certainly does make some sort of a difference on the interior. And then combined with, of course, laminated side glass, laminated windshield, additional door seals, and sound deadening materials inside the chassis and just the cockpit in general, all of it does help to keep road noise and wind noise out of the cabin, which makes the experience just that much more premium at the end of the day. Handling around some of these turns at moderate speeds, it feels like an SUV. So it's not sporty, it's competent, it's compliant, but it body rolls, it has some movement out from the chassis or the suspension. So certainly, again, targeted more towards comfort rather than any sort of performance, despite performance being in the name for the all-wheel drive system itself and the power delivery. But yeah, I mean, just, looking around the cabin, feeling all the materials, suede headliner and pillars, it is a very nice experience. Of course, we have CCNC, so wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs, dedicated EV pages, which we can pull up right there. It says we have 185 miles of, based on efficiency and 65% state of charge. Gives you different readouts for if you have the AC or HVAC turned on and what fan speed you're using. There it gives you current usage statistics, range, battery usage statistics. Battery usage is being collected. Statistics will be displayed after driving 1,900 miles. It says it'll reset after each battery software update. Interesting there. So we have some more data from Hyundai on maybe battery health or battery usage statistics or where energy is flowing when using your electric vehicle. There's the miles per kilowatt hour EV economy. Looks like over the course of today. Battery health. And we have some real-time charging information. Very cool that they're rolling out some new technology current charging power and the maximum charging power of the connected charger. This does not include energy consumed by vehicle accessories. So it looks like Hyundai's rolling out some new software to basically tell you if you're getting the maximum charge speed from a vehicle charger, a DC fast charger, and versus what the vehicle's requesting. All of that kind of data is very helpful to see if the issue's on the vehicle side or if it's on the car side of things. Of course, we have our vehicle to load, charging limit, all of that stuff. Battery conditioning, it says it's low temperature. Not surprising considering it's about barely 50 degrees outside. But this thing gets up and scoots pretty good. You do feel the suspension kind of lift up the front end though. It's on the softer side. Of course, plug and charge. This has rolled out to CCNC vehicles over the last month or two. You can turn off the vehicle charging voice alert, which I know some people out there I think find quite annoying, or change the volume level of that. Smart regen, all that stuff uses the adaptive cruise control radar sensors. Looks like all the same usual stuff. Hyundai Pay, see if that's activated. Looks like we're in a guest profile. Very curious about the seats because, of course, can control first and second row seating, warmers and ventilations back here. Can't fold down the seats while driving, unfortunately, but all that's usual stuff. So yeah, I mean, that is my very first kind of come with me and drive it for the very first time impressions, if you will, of the 2026 Hyundai Ioniq 9 Calligraphy all-wheel drive. Vehicles are arriving at dealerships as we speak, so you can go purchase one of these very first units at dealerships that they have, of course, already arrived at. And I'm sure people are going to like this vehicle. I think there's a lot to like. I actually really like these vent switch gears. Nice big pieces to grab, so you can open and close and direct the airflow as you wish. You have all this usual seat ventilation, heated steering wheel. There you can see the current efficiency, 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour over the last 109 miles. Of course, that is pretty aggressive driving, likely from journalists. But yeah, I'm glad I got the opportunity to get behind the wheel of this vehicle very quickly on about 15-minute drive. And I have more content coming over the next, several weeks once these start to arrive at dealerships, and get different trim levels, all that stuff. So make sure you guys subscribe here on the channel if you guys haven't already. Let me know your thoughts and comments on the 2026 Hyundai Ioniq 9 Calligraphy, or just the Ioniq 9 in general, down in the comment section below. I want to give a huge thanks to Hyundai and, of course, Mama for throwing this spring rally. Great to get behind the wheel of some vehicles that I normally don't have access to, and these, which I do have normal access to, but aren't quite to my local dealership yet, so I can't create content with it. And I would love to get one of these on a week loan if possible, to live with and truly experience what the Ioniq 9 is like, and road trip this vehicle, maybe put a few miles on it, see what the Tesla charging experience is, and ultimately what range and efficiency is on this particular vehicle. But anyways, check out additional content I have here from the 2025 Mama Spring Rally. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on the Ioniq 9 down in the comment section below, and as always, I appreciate continued support and hope to see you guys in the next one.